Good morning and welcome to another episode of Breakfast with Boom. I am your host, MrBooMStickXL, and I have crafted one of the best topics list I've personally ever put together, but I've also assembled a panel that this community knows very well. First up is the man named after a very popular character in the Killer Instinct universe, panel member of the Game Dosage podcast, and pretty much resident ass kicker, Jago Coogan. Jago, welcome back to the show, my friend.
What's up, Boom? What's up, chat? Man, it's been a long time. I've been trying to get on here. I'm just excited as hell to get into these topics. And you forgot, I'm part of the DazCast once a month.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Thank you for the correction. Absolutely. Thank you, dude.
And the WDFC.
Yes.
Whenever. Yep. Whenever I get invited. But in honor of the DazCast, ready? Yoo-hoo.
Nice. Classic.
Not beer. It's too early.
Yes, it's a little early. Okay. Well, next up, he's known as the most powerful gamer, collector of everything He-Man, and one of the true retro gaming enthusiasts that I personally know. He bought the most powerful gamer. Welcome back to the show, dude.
Vaya, señoras y señores, bienvenido with breakfast y desayuno, as we say in Spanish, with Mr. Boom. It is an absolute pleasure to be here one more time, and once again, it is an absolute honor because Boom likes to hang out with an outcast and lowlife like myself. Just kidding, everyone, just kidding. Anyway, I'm so happy to be here with the rest of the panel members, Jago and everyone else. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And I hope we can get on these topics and talk some gaming.
Nice. Muchas gracias, señor.
No problem.
Next, we have someone that is a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, proud father, old school gamer extraordinaire, and can drive a Mustang at breakneck speed and is still alive to tell a tale. My good friend Fastback, welcome back to the show, dude.
Hey, what's up, Boom? That was awesome. Yeah, glad to be back. It's my second time on. It's Friday. I'm off. Ready to do some gaming later today and this weekend. So got Forza Horizon 4. So yeah, I'm excited. Got a lot of crazy, awesome topics. So
well, that's. Or listen, dude, I love having you on the show. I'm glad that you were available. And today's show is going to do. I think it's going to be fantastic. Last but certainly not least, member of the DazCast, member of the WTFC podcast, awesome community member, and a huge supporter of many of us in the YouTube scene, Monkey Punch. Welcome back to the show, dude.
Oh, what's up, Boom? Appreciate you having me here, man. This is my second time being here, man. But I support you, and I just want to get in these topics, man, and talk about some games, man.
I appreciate you being here. Before we go into the topics, though, I kind of just want to talk about something a little serious. As you may or may not know, my wife and I have decided that for the month of October, we are going to donate 50% of all super chat that's donated for all 8 shows. That's 4 shows for the Xbox Factor podcast and all 4 shows of the Breakfast with Boom podcast, and all proceeds that we donate, the 50% of the super chat, is going to be donated to a breast cancer awareness foundation. Right now, my wife is picking one because, you have to be real careful about who you're giving the money to. So we want to make sure that the one that we pick does actually help people. This is an important subject for me personally. Josie's mom passed away last year. It was very, very hard on her, very hard on me. And breast cancer affects so many people. But you know what? Even though this is a gaming podcast, I just want to throw some facts out there. Nearly 250,000 people will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. And that could be your mother, your sister, your daughter, your wife, or even you. And we hold Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walks, very important to the community. So during the show, the incredible UK Dazarus, who is the moderator of the not only the universe, but might be the whatever's better than universe, is going to be dropping a link, and it's going to be for anyone that wants to join a breast cancer walk in your area. You just have to type in your zip code, and they will tell you where the walk is happening. If you don't want to donate to me per se, to the show in the super chat, I highly suggest and would love to hear that you did donate to a charity of your choice. I think that this is something that is very important to not only the gaming community, but the world at hand. Breast cancer does affect everyone. And you know what? I'm really proud to say that my this little channel is going to be donating. I don't care if it's $50, $100, $300, whatever it is. All I know is that I'm very proud of not only myself, but my wife, that we're going to be involved. And you know what? The community has been behind me from the beginning of this journey. And all I ask is if you have a couple extra bucks, and you want to donate during the super chat, it would be greatly appreciated. And like I said, 50% of whatever I get on those 8 shows is going to be donated at the end of October. So once again, thank you in advance. If you do decide to donate, it is greatly appreciated. But let's get into the topics for what really most people have turned into. We're going to start off with Red Dead Redemption 2. The official gameplay video number 2 launched, and it took the gaming world by storm. And in fact, it was so damn good, I went out and pre-ordered the $100 Ultimate Edition, and all I can say is, damn you, Rockstar.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have seen the video. I've watched the video twice. I sent it in the DM. Most people have been talking about this, but I have to get the panel members' opinions because, quite frankly, if this trailer didn't sell you on the game, then you should check your pulse because I think you're dead.
Yeah.
Jago, I want to go to you first on this, dude. Rockstar has a way of doing things, and it appears that Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably going to be one of those game of the years, game of the century kind of a things. What's your take on the video, dude? Okay, I guess he stepped away. Fastback, I want to go to you, dude. What was your take?
I was on mute.
Okay, there you go, Jago.
First, I want to give a shout out to Caboose and Jay Zayas for their super chat donations. That's awesome. Fastback, you too.
Thank you, brother.
I've said this many times on podcasts. I played the first one, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was games. I think it was other games getting in the way because I'm not a huge Western fan. I never beat it. People are like, "Oh my God, you never beat Red Dead?" No, I mean I thought the game was fantastic, but it wasn't to me. It wasn't like groundbreaking at the time. I mean, I guess it was for a lot of people, but it just felt the same as like a lot of other games at the time for me. And I can't remember what game it was, but something else pulled me away, and I never beat it. But this trailer, I mean, I have to admit, it looks phenomenal. And Rockstar, let's be honest, they don't make shit games normally. It's actually watching this trailer has actually got me thinking about actually picking it up. I don't know if I'll pick it up on day one, but like soon after day one because it looks amazing. It's almost like we're like almost reality from what I saw. Is how good it looked. I mean,
the way that they move, the way that everything just is alive in the background is mind bending. It is.
Yeah, and that's what it really. I wasn't expected to be blown away like I was with the second one. It looks amazing. Like I said, it's actually changed. I wasn't going to pick it up, but if by some reason I can scrape the funds together, I think I'm actually going to pick it up, man, because it looks phenomenal. Just everything about the game does.
Yes, I agree with you. You hear the excitement in my voice. Like when you talk about games, I get excited. That's why I do this show. Fastpack, I have to go to you next on this. The trailer, they waited almost to the 12th hour, if you will, because it's coming out this month on the 26th. So for them to wait and hold back, and then they dropped this megaton bomb of a trailer. Like I said, if this doesn't sell you on the game. I don't know what Rockstar could do. What is your take on what you saw?
The second trailer was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You could just the detail. The world is alive.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a lot to do. The interaction with NPCs and with the bounty hunter. Like, you know, if you get out of hand, you know, you're gonna have some bounty hunters coming up to you. So that's gonna be interesting. And then, of course, you can be, you know, go, you know, look for someone that's wanted, and you go, you know, hunt them down too. So I cannot wait. I loved Red Dead Redemption since the first one. I played the heck out of it. You know, you try to go everywhere in that world. You know, hunt everything, and you know, I can't how many times I was in that saloon gambling.
Yeah. Yes.
And the story was great. You know, with his family and everything he was dealing with, the horseback riding. You know, trying to rob. You know, and this one too in the trailer. You know, about robbing the trains or just robbing anybody coming through. You know, on the trails, on the wagons. Like, wow, it's like, and then of course, what you do in the game has consequences. So
yes, absolutely,
and that can come back and bite you. So I love that where you have choices, and you know you're gonna have to deal with that later on in the game. So I am super excited. I am buying this game, and like you said, people need to. If you haven't played the first one, I recommend giving that one a play, and then jump on this one because you're gonna love it. And it's Rockstar.
Yes.
I love GTA. I love Red Dead Redemption and most of the games, so I'm excited.
Well, listen, dude, I like I said, everyone's voice, you can hear it when you're talking about something that you're gonna love. You can just hear it, the way the voice raises. But before we go any further, first and foremost, I have to thank some people here because this show, you know, it's there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I love doing it. And I would not be in this position without the community. But some of the super chats that have gone on just now are just mind blowing. First and foremost, Caboose V42 with the $25 super chat. Dude, I cannot thank you enough. Jay Zayas, personal friend of mine, big supporter of the show, a $20 super chat. Fastback, you're on the panel. You dropped a super chat. I cannot thank you enough for that. And Ice Queen Gaming, also someone that is always in the chat, always looks forward to seeing them, you know, talk about games with everyone else. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. This really does mean a lot to me. And like I said, the more money I collect, 50% of whatever that amount is will be going to charity. And again, you know, you don't know when cancer is going to strike, and it could strike anyone. Yeah. And even though I'm a small channel, I want to do everything in my power to help. And I get that help with the help of the community. So thank you. But let's go on to let's keep up with the topic because obviously this is a gaming show, so we have to just keep on with gaming. Monkey Punch, I want to go to you next, dude. Obviously, you saw the trailer like pretty much everyone else, and when I saw it, I literally there was so much to watch that I actually felt like I missed something, so I rewatched it again. What was your take on the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer?
All I can say is, man, Rockstar, I know what they do to these games. They know what to do and what to present to the people in the world because I played it before, and I played the first one, and I beat it 100% completion. And I don't know what engine they're using, but the immersion they make you feel in that game, and you know all the stuff that you can do in this game is amazing. What they have you can do. Like if you're get dirty and you don't want to take a bath, you want to bathe, you can do that. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, and I like the consequences, man. And I'm just waiting for that part where they show John Marston. I know they said that John Marston's in there. I don't know if it's a flashback.
The voice actor has confirmed that he does reprise the role. We just don't know where in it he's going to be.
Yeah, but I'm very excited for this game. Is going to take all my life, just like if I play Destiny. As soon as I play this game, I'm going to want to explore everything I want to do, every little. And then you got gangs that are going to be out there, like different gang members, like different gang clans that are going to be out there, like out in the whole world, like different. You got your own little posse, and there's other posses out in the world that are trying to take your territory or take over the territory you're running.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I'm seeing, man, it's Rockstar always hits it out of the park. I don't know what kind of game engine they're using, but Rockstar never brings out a shitty game. They just always are top notch games, and they always know when to present it perfectly for people because.
Well, I mean, listen, they come out with a game once every 5 years.
Yeah,
there isn't another company.
Yeah,
and we have to be honest here. There is not another company within the gaming verse that we all know and love that could pull that shit off without going under.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, because they made Grand Theft Auto 5 and they have made nothing since then. Maybe they did Eleanor, but that was just from some other company that team Bandai and Nambai, whatever the name.
Probably the only other one so far lately, CD Projekt Red.
Yes, they're the only ones also that could pull that off. I absolutely agree.
Oh yeah,
well, well, Monkey, you make good points. And you make valid ones that, there's so much to do outside of you playing the regular story that you're really, this is a 100-hour game at the minimum. I have to shout out Jay the Destroyer with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. You know what? I want to move on to the last member of today's panel. Certainly not the least. Hebot, you saw the video. I don't know how many times you've watched it, but it's stunning to just sit back and actually see this thing in motion. What was your take on what Rockstar showed the world?
You hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low, brother.
Yeah, I was transitioning from the car to the home.
Okay.
Okay. First and foremost, I've always said before, I'm not a big fan of games like Red Dead because of the fact that it went to the open world style and moniker. But it makes sense for a game like Red Dead because, it's in the Western era, and it gives you more of a simulation, realistic type of feel. But I am going to give my opinion on the game based on me being a gamer and what I see and how it makes me feel. So, to in a respectful manner to obviously the audience and the fans. I did have the pleasure and privilege to see my son play Red Dead 1.
Nice.
He just played it recently on 4K and it looks beautiful.
It does look crazy good, man.
Yeah, it holds up very well. Now, as far as the new Red Dead, what I like is obviously the fact that it's the authenticity. The authenticity in the game is bar none. When you see that, it translates in every little detail from the way the hat is placed on his head, where the way that cowboys used to wear them, if it was on an angle or on a certain position, or even the way the holsters were placed, by choice of where they put the hilt for their guns and things of that nature. And Rockstar's always been known for that. But the reason why Rockstar's been known for that is because Rockstar had the privilege to become one of the most biggest and richest developers in the world.
Yes. Yep.
And because of that, God bless, because we don't have many of that. We don't have many of those right now, this day and age. Let's be honest, And because of that, they are able to dive in and give 120% to everything they put and make, right?
Yep.
So their games are nothing but they drench and drool with quality, which is great. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that just shows and proves that if we had more developers that had the backing, right? And the substance that Rockstar has, as far as when I say by substance is having enough manpower, right? Mm-hmm. To concentrate on every individual part of games or what you're putting in the game, right? Whether you're the developer, the sound engineer, the art designer, to craft a masterpiece, so to speak, because that's really what you can call it, because it is. Because the technical feat that it is to create a game, people have no idea unless you know somebody that does it. And I know quite a few people who do it that haven't gotten big, and still for them, it's with what they do. The process is very daunting. Right?
Yeah. They take, but you see, you have to respect what Rockstar does because they take their time. And you know what? They're, like I said, they're the only company with the balls to say, We're not going to E3. We're not showing anything.
They
End of
never go.
story.
They never go to E3. They'll never go to E3.
Well, I think they've realized that by them waiting and showing their product when it's actually at almost its final stages,
when it's ready.
right,
Yeah,
that the results,
yeah.
the results are more impactful. You
Yes.
see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And this is something, to be honest, that every developer and even every publisher that backs up developers, meaning somebody like Microsoft, now acquiring these new developers, giving that backing and patience, you're going to see the results that you need to make not only a great product, but have the backing of the gaming community. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you make great points. All I can tell you is this: this game not has the potential, but I think it's going to break every sales record in the history of gaming for a 1 day, 1 week, 1 month sale. I really think that you got to, and mind you, it's only coming out on 2 platforms. PC is not getting it.
Yes, I think that is a very fair assessment. Because remember, there's 2 big factors that we got to remember about this that people have to remember. I said one of them already. They have money and they have the manpower. That's number 1. Yeah. Number 2 is it is the very first time that they're making an actual game with next gen graphics and engine capabilities. They're actually utilizing the hardware.
That's true.
Which almost makes you want to step back and be like, damn, do we really need new hardware coming down the pipeline if they're just starting to touch the surface of the hardware on the consoles that we have right now? Man. You understand what I'm trying to say?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so, look how the game looks, man. Jeez,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I never understand why people want to hurry up and get to the next gen. It's like,
what's the rush, man?
Well, that's one reason why the 7th generation lasted so long, because it took them that long to squeeze every ounce of power out of those consoles.
But Django, I'm glad you said that, because to add to that point real quick, we can get into the next topic. I don't want to keep ranting off.
This is a conversational podcast, brother. Talk away.
I know that. You're so kind, Boom. Django, to add to what you're saying, that being said, yes, last generation was pretty amazing, to say the least, because it was one of the first generations that allowed consoles to be out so long that they actually utilized every inch and bit and cranny of those hardware. But at the same time, it hurt it, because once they went into the new generation, the developers couldn't adapt quick enough to make polished and fantastic products right out the door with the new consoles. You're seeing that fruit of the labors now. Look at stuff like the Resident Evil, the remaster, Devil May Cry, the Forza Horizon 4. Now we got Red Dead, the upcoming, what was the other game?
Devil May Cry 5. It's just
you have Far Cry 5. Well, a lot of stuff, Far Cry. There's another one too that was.
You got Odyssey. You got Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey. That's what I was trying to say. The new Odyssey one. Assassin's Creed. Now we're starting to see the difference. But there was one game that gave us a glimpse to that what the potential was, which was right at launch. It was Rise, Son of Rome.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
That showed the potential of what we could do and accomplish with these new hardware. So I'm glad that the fans are actually getting a next generation Rockstar game, because they milked the shit out of excuse my language out of Red Dead 105.
They never updated that game, did they? Ever 4K today?
No. But to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played Red Dead, but this one looks so good.
Yeah, I think
I
think this is a phenomenon.
Well, I'm very intrigued in trying it. The only complaint I would have is that, because the Western areas is an era that was very boring. So it's very hard to make something that is interesting and fun. So this game is a perfect candidate for great story. That's one of the elements you could do to make it and capture in, because it is an era where there was not much to do, and that's what I mean by boring. No disrespect. Even movies, we haven't had really great movies. We could probably name 10 off the top of our head that were great Western or spaghetti Western. Me personally, 3 Tenths of Yuma was a masterpiece. But
Tombstone,
yeah, 3 Tenths of Yuma for me, as far as more recent, with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale.
Yeah.
But to end it, my opinion on and my thoughts, I just want it'd be awesome if they could implement 4-player co-op in the campaign. I think that right there will nail for me, cement.
Yeah,
like me.
the thing is this,
hard.
that would be hard because the world is so big.
Yes.
But I think that this is telling a tale, and they just have a way of telling it with the single player. I think that if it had co-op, it may not translate well. But I want to move on to the next topic because it's a big one.
Yeah.
Could CD Projekt Red lose the Witcher license in a huge legal battle with the series author? And you know what? That just might happen, folks. The creator of the Witcher books, Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski, has called on CD Projekt Red to pay him 16.1 million more in royalties following the success of the studio's video game adaptation of the series. In a post on the company's website, CD Projekt Red called the demands groundless. Now, the lawyers for Sapkowski claim in a letter to CD Projekt Red reposted on its website that Polish copyright law entitles the author to more royalties based on how large of a discrepancy between what the studio originally paid him and how much it's gone on to profit from the copyright, citing Article 44 of Poland's 1994 copyright law. Okay, now here's the thing. When they, in the early 2000s, CD Projekt Red approached Sapkowski and said, hey, listen, we want to make a game based on your novels. And at the time, the author did not think the game was going to go anywhere. Those are his words. And that article is from 2017, where he was interviewed by Eurogamer, which I'll include in the links of the show notes if you want to read it. So he took a flat sum because he didn't expect this thing to go anywhere. And now, obviously, The Witcher 3 has sold millions and millions of copies. They just announced that Netflix is doing their own adaptation on, for the service, which it's going to be amazing. They just signed Henry Cavill, Superman, who's going to play Geralt, which is amazing. And he kind of feels left out now. And here's the thing, if they don't play nice with one another, there's a possibility that we may not get a Witcher 4. And I think that would be a crime against humanity. Jago, I want to go to you first on this. What is your take on the possibility of CD Projekt Red losing the Witcher license?
Honestly, Boom, I honestly don't think they will, because when they went to this Sapkowski, whatever his name is, he pretty much signed over his rights because he didn't believe in his own stories. You know what I'm saying? So, and he didn't believe in the medium that CD Projekt Red was developing for, and he said, and he had the option of one-time payout, as far as I remember reading, or royalties to be paid over time. And he just said, hey, just give me that one-time lump sum. And now that he sees how big the Witcher has become, now he's getting #salty. And he's never played. He's not. I mean, he's in his 70s. And he's not a video game fan, of course.
No,
I mean,
he's not at all.
He kind of looks down his nose at the whole medium of video games, and they acquired the rights to the Witcher series fair and square. I don't see why CD Projekt Red would have. I mean, why they could go flip him off and say, no, you sold us the rights to the franchise. Not he's saying that he sold him the rights to to make the first game.
Right. Sure I don't think that, again, I looked for it and I did a story on my channel that went into a little bit more detail. So if you want more, specific detail on the back end of it, I could not find any documentation, and I looked to see what the original contract was. Obviously, I don't think that's public knowledge. I think even Eurogamer couldn't find it. So it's really at this point, being that it's out in the open, it's his word versus CD Projekt Red. It's unfortunate because you want to see both people win. Obviously the author, kind of didn't do such a good business move by just taking the flat sum. But I do think that there is that he is covered under some sort of a copyright law where that if the amount that they paid him is so low compared to what they're making on it, that he's entitled. But again, this is going to be, unfortunately, a very public court battle.
And if correct me if I'm wrong, if you acquire the rights, like you buy the rights out for what he got was like, I want to say it was like $9,500 or something. It's
ridiculous.
But if you acquire the rights, and he just signed over the rights to his own stories, the Witcher stories, you can do with that license, whatever you want, and you can make as many movies or games as you want. And I'm sure CD Projekt Red, that was, they didn't plan on, but they probably plan on wanted to make the first one, but they didn't know how it was going to sell. And then it took off, and so they made the second one and the third one, and that's their right to, and that's my knowledge when you acquire a license like that. And I don't see why, it just irks me, man. It pisses me off because it's such a great game for a lot of people, and great storytelling. And from him being salty and wanting to be greedy, in my opinion, if it causes CD Projekt Red to lose the license to that, that's going to piss a lot of people, a lot of fans off, and it's going to be bad for the gaming industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, Fastback, I want to go to you next, dude. Listen, we know that they're currently working on Cyberpunk 2077, and quite frankly, they're going to be working on that for quite some time. But CD Projekt Red, like Rockstar, they're just that good of a developer. So who's to say that they don't have a Witcher 4 in pre-production, artwork going on, graphics, because obviously it's all hands on deck for Cyberpunk, and rightfully so. But a lawsuit could potentially, which how these things go, lawsuits could take 7 to 10 years, especially when it comes to copyright and corporate law, because everyone's just holding off and stalling. Yep. This could logistically hold up the next game. Do you think that maybe they should try to come to some sort of agreement with the author?
Yeah, and I was just thinking that too. They should, this is going to go to court, and it could go either way. But I think they should try to settle this out of court.
Absolutely.
And come to an agreement, like you said, like, look, maybe we won't give you 16 million, but maybe we'll redo the contract to where they can give him a little bit more in royalties going forward. Give him another lump sum and then get up his royalties, because it looks like Richard, it's especially when the Netflix series comes out, and then they're able to continue on 4. It's going to make more money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The merchandising alone for the Witcher stuff is just bananas. And
it makes you wonder, too, if it was him or somebody in his family, somebody got wind, you're like, wait a minute, realize what your book is doing for this game? So you never know. So hopefully they can come to an agreement outside of court, and, we can all continue to enjoy this series. But it would be a shame if CD Projekt Red can't continue this.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Monkey, I want to go to you on this, dude, because I know that you were chomping at the bit to give your point of view.
Yeah, I was just waiting out. I was just waiting to let everybody.
This is a big deal. This isn't. We're not talking about a no-name game that just got signed on by a no-name company. It's CD Projekt Red. They are known in the industry as one of the good guys, if you will, and that's a select group of people. I mean, let's face facts. The only companies that are actually in the good graces of gamers, and that would be torches and pitchforks thrown at you. You try to say anything bad about them. It's CD Projekt Red. It's the makers of Gears of War. The Coalition, because obviously we love Rod Ferguson, and the Uncharted developers. Those are the 3 companies that you talk about, and you say Naughty Dog, and all you think of is good things because they are good to their fans, they're good to the industry, but they're not many. This happens to be, to have this out in the public eye when you're trying to push your Cyberpunk 2077, and of course the most successful game for that company, which was of course Witcher 3. Do you think that this is something that they have to try and settle before this gets out of control?
Yeah, definitely, because I understand the guy. He wants more money, but when he signed the contract, he didn't expect this game to blow like it should, And now that he sees that the money's coming and they're making a lot of money, he's like, well, I need to see if I can get more money from them. Say, when they made that contract, they should have had it done some kind of clause where it kept him where he will get money, future money endeavors later, like when he signed this contract.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it was, though. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if they were. We don't know what the contract looks like. We don't know what he signed. All I know is that he's an older guy. He don't even know nothing about these games. He's not a gamer. He's like, okay, I'll sell my authors, make some little slump of money, and hope everything goes well. And then CD Projekt Red pops out and makes a great game, because we know CD Projekt Red. They're the company that didn't like DRM. They're the company that's like, well, they did the DRM thing. They were against DRM, and I think that I'm pretty sure they're going to do something. They're going to go in there and just like Fatback said, set out of the court, man, to say, hey, if you want 16, but we can give you, whatever certain amount, and we'll just, settle in court and to say, hey, we still going to try to make the new game, because we want to make Witcher 4, and everybody's going to want Witcher 4, and they don't want to hear about news about somebody wanting to sue them because they didn't get the right proper money they were supposed to get when they first made, when they first agreed upon to buy the novels, and now we're just getting a Netflix movie, a Netflix series, and then we got Cyberpunk 77 coming out, and they got to deal with trying to fix on that, and then they got to deal with this legal issue with this guy,
I agree. The last thing that you want is trying to do a press event for your Cyberpunk 2077, and then you're going to have some a-hole reporter saying, yeah, the game looks fantastic, but by the way, what's going on with that lawsuit? It just ruins everything.
Yeah, just like, okay, now you got to throw that in the mix while we're trying to promote our game, and it looks fantastic, and we all know that. It's going to be a freaking amazing game when it comes out, whenever that date is, and everybody will be waiting for that. But it's just horrible news to hear that this guy just comes out of nowhere and just wants to, I want to sue CD Projekt Red, I want more money because the game is now making money. So, he never knew the game was going to make money like he did. So he just wants to point out, told his lawyer, hey, let's sue this company real quick. I didn't get enough lump sum from what we previously had. So it is what it is,
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, Monkey. And like I said, at the end of the day, I hope that everyone could just be on the same page and just put this behind them, give the guy some money, and and just move on, because like I said, the author, he's an old man. He hasn't done anything with the license since the books. So you know what? You just pay the man.
He should just pay him and shut him up and let him go back and do whatever he wants.
Let him smoke his pipe and drink his rum.
This ain't Lord of the Rings. This ain't J.R. Tolkien or anything here. Just moving on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Didn't you read somewhere, Boom, like I did, that he said, well, he's Polish, right?
Yeah.
He wrote these stories for kids that, I want to say, I've read this, that he wrote those stories for kids that couldn't masturbate correctly or some crazy shit.
You know what, dude? I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not read that, but all I know is that supply that link whenever you find it, and I will read that story.
So he was talking shit about his own stories. I read that somewhere. I will try to find it.
You skim past that.
Hey, you said he's Polish.
I want to read that story, but I want to get it. Yeah, I want to get Hebot's info on what he thinks about the situation. Obviously, you're an old school gamer and you wear that on your sleeve, and that's awesome. But you know what? There's no doubt that The Witcher 3 is the game of this generation now. Could that change with the newer titles that are coming out, like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey and a few others. Yes, of course it could. But as it stands right now, most gamers will tell you their game of this generation is The Witcher 3. Do you think that it's best for both parties to kind of just figure this out before it spirals out of control?
Well, Boom, Witcher 3 success is another, basically cementing the fact of what I said, that last generation hurt this generation, because Witcher 3 was one of the few games that came out early in the generation, like Batman Arkham, let's say, right?
Yep.
That was polished, that felt quality, that felt next generation, if you will, right? Not to sound cliche. And that's why it got the success. And that's great. But to talk about the author, when the author gave up the rights, right? We don't know the clauses, obviously, or the little details. I'm pretty sure he had no idea that it was going to be successful, right? As did CD Projekt Red, I'm pretty sure. And that's and it's a license that I believe his novels weren't really successful either. They were well criticized. I think they were critically acclaimed, but I don't think he had success as far as sales, right?
Right.
So when he passed the rights over, he had to be already in his 60s, right? I'm assuming.
I think so. Yes.
So as an older man, he probably was thinking, well, you know what? What can I lose? Let's see what happens. Make some money, and then they can make some money. They're up and coming. They're young. They're fresh. They're hungry. So what I would see it is, as me being the developer and the head of CD Projekt Red, how I would look at it is, okay, guys, this guy was older. They didn't really think he was going to have success. And yes, we're within our rights because we paid for the right and of ownership to do the games. But if it wasn't for him doing that, we would have never had the money and the success that we have now. So what is the right thing to do in this case? The man is now in his 70s. Maybe the man has grandkids or children that he wants to leave something to, because obviously he doesn't have many years to live. And then again, he could live 150 and outlive me. It doesn't matter. We don't know. We're talking about based on the logic of human nature, right? That we all die within that range between 70, 80, 90, right?
Yeah.
So I think in this case, the best thing for them to do, we all know with the success of Witcher 3, without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to have a sequel. We know this. Okay? That's without question. Right. So there is money to be made. Now with the show, they're talking about possible animation later on. They're going to make money. So they're not going to be lost for money. They should just make a good agreement. And if they don't want to give them a big payout, just tell them, listen, from this point forward until you die, we'll give you a certain percentage of royalties from everything that's Witcher related. And I think you would keep him happy as well. And the man could fulfill whatever he wants to leave something to his family, if that's the case, because maybe that is the case. We don't know the man personally. Right. Yeah, so we don't know if he has a sick daughter or a sick grandchild that he wants to leave money to, or, because he didn't have it from the books. Right, but it is his work. He did create it, whether he gave it up or not. It was his creation, so he has a right to kind of say something, right? In that sense, in that retrospective, right? And that's talking as what's doing the right thing. Somebody's
got a phone going off in the background. Please mute the phone.
Yeah, that's like saying, that's also saying as us as human beings, how you call it, doing what's right. As human beings.
I agree. Yes, absolutely.
And I don't think they'll lose anything in it. So I think they should figure it out, like you guys eloquently put it, out of court, because then you save the mess of the media. You'll save the mess of the court fees and the hooplas and the lawyers. They'll save themselves more money, right? And they can come to an agreement. And like I said, either do a long-term thing since he's already in his 70s, where they give him maybe 4 or 5% of everything they make, which comes out to a big amount because it does well. Or just, do the payout and tell them, okay, we won't give you 16, but maybe we could give you 13 million, so, because the man did create it. And if it wasn't for his creation and him making the agreement, they would have never been in the position they're in now with the success they have. So I would look at it like that. Sometimes we got to pay it forward, even though it may not be right on paper, but it's right as us as human beings.
I agree. That's a really well put statement, dude. Absolutely well put.
That's my point of view. Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, at the end of the day, we are human. And, I say this and I said it in my video, one wouldn't exist without the other. So I think they should work it out. But before we move on to the next topic, I have to give a giant shout out to AP Cool J, big fan of the show, huge $25 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. It is Greatly appreciated. He says, got to check out the show later. Work sucks. Yes, unfortunately, work does suck. But let's move on to topic number 3. Devolver Digital, makers of the awesome Hotline Miami and Enter the Gungeon, offers Netflix to make Stranger Things. Now, if you're not familiar, Stranger Things on Netflix is an incredible show. 2 seasons, a huge throwback to like the 80s. I happen to appreciate it. So did my wife. Most people who grew up in that era will appreciate the show. Yes. Well, the game was being produced by Telltale Games, which unfortunately closed their door, putting almost 200 people out of work at the end of September, and it obviously hit the industry right in the gut. But this is what they did. They sent a tweet, and I want to read verbatim of exactly what they wrote to Netflix. It says, "Hello, Netflix. We would be happy to make Stranger Things the game with no code. Resume here. DMs are open." Now, this has the potential to be one of those really goodwill kind of stories because of this. First and foremost, I saw some screenshots of what the game was going to look like, and it looked like what you would expect an incredible Telltale game to look like. And the characters looked uncannily like their real counterparts. And it was, I thought the potential for storytelling in the Stranger universe could be amazing. So I'm going to go to the panel on this. Jago, I want to go to you first. Now, I know you play the Telltale games, not just for achievements, because quite frankly, they tell fantastic stories. It was obviously a sad day in the gaming verse that they're no longer making games, but there is potential for these 2 companies, Devolver Digital and No Code, to possibly hire some of the employees that lost their job because of what they've worked on in the past, being employees of Telltale Games. Do you think this would be awesome to not only hire these folks, but actually get Stranger Things out of possibly never releasing?
Well, first and foremost, all the employees, that's who they need. The ones that got let go, they need to look after them first from Telltale, right? If they can, and so because at the end of the day, they have families they got to feed too. But yeah, I mean, I saw a few episodes of Stranger Things. My old lady was watching it. I really didn't get into the series because I guess I didn't watch enough of them. But I played, what was their last? Was it Alien Isolation that they made?
Yes, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. That game, and I'm a Resident Evil fan, but just the tone of that game, man, it scared the shit out of me at times. I mean, the jump scares were crazy. And if they can make a game like that for all the Stranger Things fans out there that, kind of got disheartened when they heard the news about Telltale, I think it would do an incredible job with the whole Stranger Things series. Like I said, I don't know enough about it to really speak on what the Stranger Things series entails. But if they can make a game like Alien Isolation, I think they do a fantastic job with that. Come on.
Well, the Stranger Things universe, again, it's only been 2 seasons, and there's a lot to tell. There's plenty of untold stories. Each character is literally an amazing piece that once they put it together makes this show what it is. Fastback, I want to go to you on this, dude. Devolver Digital they make some pretty cool games, and the fact that they're reaching out to Netflix to say, hey, listen, we will finish this game for you. Just hit us up in the DM. I think that's awesome. And I also think that without them even saying it, this does potentially open the door for some of the folks that were affected by the closure of the studio to actually get jobs. What's your take on this, dude?
I love Stranger Things. And like you said, those of us who grew up in that time, the 80s, it took us back to that time. And as far as Netflix, I'm sure hopefully if they do work something out with Digital Devolver, or is it Devolver Digital? I can't remember which.
Yeah, it's Devolver Digital. Yep.
So hopefully, and a lot of other studios have already reached out and say, come apply for the studio, and hopefully, those who were affected, if they're able to make that move, they can jump on board with them and continue. But Stranger Things, yes, like you were saying, there's especially the last season, the story expanded, right? So you saw what's her name, the character 11, who has a special ability. But then we saw that there were other kids who were.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the other one who can make people see things that are not really there. So there's so many other stories that can expand on, and I want to see that happen because I enjoyed some Telltale games. Like recently, the last one I played was Back to the Future, and so it expanded on that. On Doc's.
That's what a lot of people don't know about that game. That's fantastic. That title,
fun game.
Oh,
so.
Definitely.
Hopefully this happens. I think Devolver Digital is a great company. I've seen them at PAX South the last 3 years. They have some cool games, great booth to go and check out some of the games they have. So I want to see this happen.
If they're going to do that, one thing I would love to see them do is finish the last season of The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, well, no, I got a little piece of information, but I want to get everyone's point of view before I kind of throw it out there because that actually dropped very late, and I just want to give an update on that to people who actually purchased it. But Mike, Monkey Punch, I want to go to you, dude. This has the potential to not only have jobs for people. But it actually put a game out that was gonna come out, but would have never seen the light of day unless because Netflix is gonna want the game. There's no doubt about it because when they put the game out there, you're gonna want to watch the show, and you're gonna want to see season 3 whenever that comes out. So it's marketing 101. I think that it's very important for Netflix to maybe take the bait, if you will, and say, yeah, we'll work with you. What's your take on this, dude?
I really like this idea. I'm just kind of surprised that it's pretty good for Devour Digital to just show up and say, hey, we love to do the story. I mean the game and any future stuff. It's nice for them to go out there and try to get some to work on it because people do wanted that game to happen. I did. I love Walking Dead games. I always liked the Telltale games. I always have. And especially reaching out to the ex-employees that lost their job, that would really help them out, to get them some help from work, just like Jago said, finish some of these games, man, finish that Walking Dead. I wanted to buy it. I wasn't going to buy it. I was just waiting for the whole season to be completed. And then I find out that they're just they're gone, the company, I played the last game I beat was Life is Strange. I just beat the Before the Storm, and I just beat the Batman Arkham, the Batman series. I've been playing a lot of them. The Borderlands,
Borderlands is probably the best in the series, right along with The Wolf Among Us. Two fantastic titles.
Yeah, and I like to have a Wolf Among Us season 2. I beat the first one. I got Back to the Future, just like Fastback said. I love the way they made the take on, and then they implemented Christopher Lloyd into it, and it had a character that sounded like Michael J. Fox. But it was, it's good news to hear that they want to do something about it. They want to pick it up and they want to work on it. Because I know there's a lot of people out there like Stranger Things. I liked it. I love the show. Went on Netflix, and I know there's probably going to be another season coming. But to approach Netflix, and I'm pretty sure Netflix is going to want this. They're going to want to, have somebody work on it, and they got experience in doing it. They did Alien Isolation. The Isolation game was a pretty scary ass game.
Fantastic.
I played it. That game was so survival, dude. You had nothing.
One wrong move, you were dead.
Yeah, I got to the part when the alien was stalking me. I couldn't go nowhere. Like if I moved and tried to go to one area, his patterns were perfect. They were. I couldn't move to the next area. It's a crazy game, man. But I'm hoping this thing, how it happens, works out for Devour Digitals, man. Maybe they can resurrect the game, bring it back. Maybe some other games will come up and come out of this whole little deal. Maybe
Yeah,
have some guys.
it's it's definitely possible. Hebot, I want to go to you, dude. Last on this. Again, you're an older gamer like myself. You grew up in the '80s, so you appreciate what they've done on the show. But the potential for the stories to be told in this is fantastic. What do you think about Devolver Digital approaching Netflix to say, "Hey, we're here if you want the game finished"?
Well, first of all, hat tip to them because it's a very honorable gesture, right? And a very classy one at that, right? Yeah. To say the least, obviously. But the only thing that Devolver Digital has been around for quite some time. They've worked on a lot of stuff that people don't even realize. They worked on games like Foul Play, which was on 360. It's a beat 'em up that you're playing, and as you're playing, you're basically it's basically people watching a stage opera show, but it's a beat 'em up, and as you're playing in the beat 'em up, it's a show that people are watching in an opera. It's a little game, but they also publish things like upcoming game called it's like really, I think, gruesome, called Corn. They worked in Serious Sam, the Shadow Warriors. They're also going to do the remaster for the OG Xbox exclusive called Metal Wolf Chaos. I remember them talking about it. So I think their heart is definitely in the right place. And Stranger Things is one of those properties that in every generation you kind of get something that becomes a gem, right? And that's one of them. Stranger Things happens to be one of this generation's, gems. If you really dedicate your time and watch the season, you will not regret it. Because it really touches a lot of people in many ways. Not only the new generation, but especially us.
Yeah, the older generation.
The dying breed.
Yeah, the older guys over here.
Right, the dying breed, because it hits all those right notes. Just like that new game that came out with the little kid on Xbox that throws the video cassettes and has a lot of little homages. I think it's called, it's trying to pay an homage to Paperboy.
Video Kid or
Video Kid, yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah, so Stranger Things, right. So Stranger Things lends itself very well to do many different types of games, whether it's an interactive style movie game like this, or even a survival horror in third person or in first person.
Oh yeah.
So the property has a lot of potential to live on in a lot of different video game and media, to say the least. Maybe even a feature film down the road as well. I hope that they at least give them an opportunity or a chance, because the only way they're going to know if they can get success with the property in this medium is by giving an opportunity to someone out there that's willing to do it. And a lot of people have been vocal, obviously, because people on, from Ninja Theory, even from Coalition, a lot of people have reached out to them. And also to the people from the other guys that shut down not too long ago, also.
Telltale.
So no, not only Telltale, some other developer that they were consolidating or closing. I forgot what it was.
Capcom.
Capcom Vancouver. That's it.
Yeah.
So and that's a great thing because it shows that there's camaraderie still in the gaming industry. And that's amazing. Because they're setting the stage by example.
Yep.
So I want them to bring it out because I would love to see what they do with Stranger Things. And let's be honest, Stranger Things and games, it's games like the ones that they've done, like Telltale games. It's basically the evolution of something like that we used to have, which was Dragon's Lair and Space Ace back in the day.
Oh, right.
It's the evolution of those type of games. And now they're like so driven in story and they look so amazing. Plus, there's more interaction that they're people like them. There's an audience. So they deserve to be out there as well, for the fans of those genres. I hope that they give someone a chance. And I think, like I said, I have tipped to Devolver Digital because they went out on the limb and basically they're saying, we're not even caring about making profits or benefits right off the bat. We just want to help you bring it out if you're willing to do that.
Actually, great points, dude. Really great points.
So I hope so. I really do hope, especially because I think Stranger Things deserves to get a video game out there, in the wild. I really do. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you on that. Listen, I want to move on to the next topic. Now, in this generation, when you say Sony, you think of Spider-Man. And when you talk about Spider-Man, we've been very, very lucky this year where we got the incredible, absolutely stunning, amazing Spider-Man from Insomniac Games. And I think that any Spider-Man fan, when you say the name, your brain immediately thinks about Venom. And Sony Movie Pictures, Sony Films, just released Venom. It's currently sitting at a 33 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
And is not good.
That's horrible.
Okay. It's common knowledge that this film is separate. It's in a separate universe from the MCU and has nothing to do with Spider-Man. That in itself is a problem. This appears to be another failure from Sony Pictures and proves that when Kevin Feige and the MCU are removed from the recipe, the end dish isn't so good. Now, I have to talk about this because, again, this is a video game show, but we also, video games go hand in hand with comics and comics go hand in hand with films.
Yeah.
I want to get the panel's take on this. First of all, I have tickets. I'm going Monday morning because I obviously I have to produce this show on Friday, so I couldn't go this morning. So I'm going to go Monday. I'm still seeing the film, but Jago, I want to go to you on this. This is disappointing as a fan of Spider-Man, of Venom more specifically. He is one of my favorite characters. He's an anti-hero. He's a villain. He's a little bit of both. But this is terrible, and it just shows that Sony Films continues to just fail, and I don't understand why they keep doing these same mistakes. What is your take on it sitting at a 33 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes?
First of all, people, they got to just take that whole MC universe out of the equation. Pretend that doesn't exist, okay? Because, I mean, it's not involved. It's its own separate story. I got to be honest. Venom is one of my favorite characters growing up. Him and Carnage, or Carnage, whatever how you want to pronounce his name. They're some of the best anti-heroes or bad guys, whatever you want to call them. And I don't know if I'll go see it in the movie because let's be honest, going to see movies in the movie theater nowadays is ridiculously expensive. I don't know how people do it, like go see every movie that comes out, but I'll probably watch it. I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes say, what it's sitting at. I'm either gonna buy it on Blu-ray or I'll rent it. Either way, but I think people just need to take sometimes people they want to make something out of nothing, and I understand being a comic book purist or story purist, and you're a super fan of all these characters, but just watch the movie and try to enjoy it for what it is. This is the first time I think, in my opinion, we're getting because let's be honest, the Venom with Topher Grace and Spider-Man 3 that was terrible. I don't see how
one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, I don't see how this Venom's going to be worse than that. I'm going into it with a open mind and I mean the CGI. Some people have said it doesn't look the best. What I've seen, the Venom looks awesome. Are you kidding me? That one part where he's in the store and he's talking to the lady or the guy, and he's got half his face is Tom Hardy and half his face is Venom, and he goes, "We are Venom." I'm like, it gives me goosebumps now. I can't wait to go see that movie. I'm not letting any reviews stop me from going and enjoying Venom on the big screen. And I think a lot of people just need to just chill, take it down a notch, and watch it. Because I think a lot of people, if it's cool to hate on something, and that in today's society, the people that just love to hate on shit or just be negative assholes in the comic book, video game world, they just jump on the bandwagon just because they think it's cool. Go enjoy the movie for what it is. You decide yourself if it's a bad movie. It ain't deterring me. Yes, maybe it should be part of the MCU, but we all can't be that lucky. Just enjoy. Just be thankful that we're getting looks like maybe a decent Venom movie. I mean, that's how I look at it. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I just want real quick, Monkey, if you wouldn't mind, back out and come back in. For some reason, you're muted, dude. And I don't think it's your end. I think it might be something with Google. So back out and come back in. But you know what, Fastback, I want to go to you next on this, dude. Listen, I know that Rotten Tomatoes isn't the end all when it comes to movie reviews, because they can give it a 33 and I can think it's 100. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But the problem is this, and I have to shout out So Shady, who's a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of his on the RDX podcast. He says, without the MCU, Spidey is in real trouble. People don't care for him not connected to the MCU. And he is 100% right. And that goes for Venom as well. You cannot have Venom in the universe and not have Spider-Man involved. I think that it was, I don't know what they were thinking, but it's typical Sony, because if before this movie launched, they said that there was going to be a Morbius movie. Now, I'm a comic fan, so I know who he is. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else on the panel know who Morbius is? Right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay, some people don't. Most people don't. He's a vampire.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, they signed Jay Leto, Joker, to play him, which that's a great sign. But at the same time, you can't have a universe you can't have Spider-Man rogue gallery villains running around without Spider-Man. It's ridiculous.
That's my only thing with that movie is because if it wasn't for Spider-Man, there would be no Venom in the comic books. I do know that.
That is absolutely correct. But I don't know. I mean, Fastback, did you finish your point, dude?
Mostly, I think like Jago, I'm with Jago. I never give a shit about critics, ratings, or Metacritic and all that stuff when it comes to games. So I am interested to go see this movie because I love Venom too.
Yes,
and when Spider-Man and the symbiote came together and you had the black spider suit, like that was just awesome as shit.
There was,
and then of course when Venom went over to, what was his name? Brock.
Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock.
Yeah. So, and then you got Carnage. There's a lot there with the symbiotes, and I would like with this without Spider-Man. It is a shame.
It just doesn't seem right. It's trying to eat something that's called a peanut butter cup without peanut butter. I'm just saying the best way to come up with that is that. But listen, real quick before I move on to Hebot, my wife, who is amazing, Josette with the $40 super chat, supporting the cause. Wow. Thank you so much for that. She is the rock that holds me in place and the biggest supporter of this channel. Hebot, I want to go to you next on this, dude. Again, the ratings don't always tell the full tale. I mean, this could still be a success because it is Venom, but I just think it's Sony just putting their foot in it again with the success that Spider-Man has absorbed since joining the MCU, since teaming up with Disney to put him in the Avengers, to put him in Infinity War, for Marvel to produce Homecoming, and right now they just wrapped production of Far From Home, which Mysterio is going to be the main villain. Why would you not have this movie connected to the MCU? It just baffles me.
Well, your listeners probably not going to like what I have to say, but this is all Sony's fault.
Yeah, it absolutely is Sony's fault.
Sony has the movie rights for Spider-Man. Okay? And let's get something very, very clear to everyone listening. Okay? And what I'm going to say, I can back up because I have all the articles to show and prove. Marvel games that just came out, the Marvel Spider-Man, only has the type of quality and production value that it has due to Marvel games and Insomniac. Disney completely paid for the development. The only thing Sony did was pay for the marketing because they made a deal to get an exclusive title so that Spider-Man could be in the MCU universe. And that was the deal. So they can get an exclusive game of Spider-Man. And this just shows you that Sony doesn't know the property and doesn't understand the importance of having Spider-Man and its villains in the same universe. And the reason for them to create this Miles Morales animation that's coming out with Venom this year is because in 2019, that contract for the movie rights ends. So the only way they can extend it is by making something related to Spider-Man on their end that has to make a certain amount of money so that way they can continue to have the rights to Spider-Man because they know it's a cash cow. Now, if it doesn't do well, which it doesn't seem like it's looking too good so far, the good thing about it would be is that they can renegotiate. And if they can't meet the renegotiations with Disney Marvel, Marvel gets the rights fully back. And whatever you see from this point forward, as far as the movie goes, would only be under Kevin Feige and the Marvel and Disney brand, including the games.
Right.
And this is what you want to hope for, even though I don't want them to fail because it's not that I hate Spider-Man. Let's get this clear. I want it to fail so that it can go back to its rightful owner in the right hands that actually respect the material, respect the property, and respect the fans. Sony's out of their element in this situation. Why? Because they don't know Spider-Man the way that Marvel does. Okay? They're out of their element, and they need to give it up. It's a shame because they have it in a stranglehold because they want to keep doing things like this that basically is a slap in the face to the fans. Now, am I saying the movie's going to be terrible? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that because what is somebody else's taste may not be yours. You may like it and I may not. Okay. So I'm unequivocally, without a doubt, I'm telling you guys, don't listen to Metacritic. No. Because we got to make our own opinion. Absolutely.
Never did.
I agree. That's the same thing with games. It doesn't matter because a game you might not like, I may like. Always try it for yourself because it's our own personal experience. So, finish my thought is basically, I hope the movie does, okay for the fans' point of view, but as far as for Sony, I don't really care because it's what Boom stated and what Boom alluded to. Sony's not playing nice with this. Okay, they're just taking advantage of a property that they know they have a stranglehold on. And no property, and I'm gonna be very clear. No property should be held as propaganda just because you want to make money, and even if it's going to be at the cost of not respecting the fans and the property itself, that is wrong because that is a slap in the face to the fans and the property, and its creators.
Yeah, they just want the money, Sony. That's all they want.
So I hope, and let me tell you, I love Tom Hardy. He does fantastic.
Me too.
Oh yeah. Batman, great. Great Bane.
Right. But he's done so much work. His body of work speaks for itself. The guy's a method actor. He's amazing. So for him, I feel bad because I don't want it to fail because I want him movies to have success. And I don't want that to kind of dwell on him for upcoming projects. And people will be like, oh, no, but his last movie didn't make money. People have to understand that if this movie fails, it's not Tom Hardy's fault. And it's not the director's fault or the writer's fault. It's the people. Well, it is.
It would be the writer that actually
the writer. If Sony hired that writer, you know what I'm trying to say, Boom? You the only people that really understand the material right is Marvel because it's their creation. Stan Lee.
That's Stan Lee creation, man. It should be right where Stan Lee.
Well, and it is very hard to do a one-off because Morbius is, and you guys realize, Morbius is another Spider-Man villain. That's why they're doing these villain movies because they can make them without adding Spider-Man and make money out of them and make movies out of them. You see? Because so that's why they're doing that. But without the main character, which would be the yin to the yang, right? The protagonist is Spider-Man. People will not understand these villains without Spider-Man's element and story in them. So this has to end for the sake of the property and the fans. You know what I mean? That's my take.
I just hope they didn't screw the pooch. That bad. And the movie is pretty decent, or it is enjoyable.
What I'm hearing is that it's almost as bad as what they tried to do with the Catwoman iteration of Halle Berry.
Oh God,
I heard something very similar, but you know what?
Right. I hope not.
And all the CG in the world is going to help Venom if it keep moving story
Right.
that great.
I think it's just time for Sony to let it go and let the property go where it belongs. And stop being, because they can still get future Spider-Man games on their console. It'll just be multi-plat if that's the case. Stop being greedy. Respect the property. Respect the fans. It's not like you're not gonna be able to have any Marvel game on your console if that's what it is. And prioritize what's right. Which they're probably not, because they're in for their own business. Most businesses are, but that's my take on it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I want to go to Monkey last on this. With Venom possibly failing for Sony, do you think that this is the nail in the coffin for them to just stop making movies and just let Marvel do what they have to do?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. What Hebot said. When you make a Venom game movie, you gotta put Spider-Man in there. You got to. Just like you don't. You put like a Batman without a villain. You gotta have it. It's Stan Lee's creation, man. Stan Lee in Marvel, he's been in every other movie because he created all the characters. So why not just give it back to Marvel? And I don't know what Sony's doing with this game. I know they want to make money, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna eventually see it. I don't, like everybody said, I don't go by Metacritic, even on video games or movies. I see a movie. If I like it, I like it. If you don't like it, then you don't like it, So, just like any Batman movie or any, the Adventures and Infinity War and all these movies they're all been great. Everybody got their own opinions,
Dreadpool in the chat makes a good point. I heard this as well. He said even Tom Hardy complained that they took the best scenes out of the movie.
Yep, he did complain publicly on that.
I heard that too. That's terrible.
He complained about his own scenes being cut out of the movie.
Oh, he did. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes,
yeah. He said what I heard was he said some of the best parts of the movie were cut out of it, so it could be, I guess, DLC for the director's cut later.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That is pretty stupid. I love Tom Hardy. He's done a lot of great movies, and
well, look, you know what? It's gonna, at this point, it's out in the wild, so there's no reshoots, there's no retakes. It is what it is, and you know what? To be honest with you, it's a shame because Venom is a premier Marvel character. I wish he would have been given the same type of respect that they gave Spider-Man. Yeah,
so it's just like if they would have put a Carnage in there, you're gonna respect the Carnage too. So
well, listen, he's coming because they apparently have a trilogy. But if this movie fails and they spend $300 million making it, guess what? You're not getting a part 2. But you know what? I want to keep with film. Avengers 4. Now we're talking quality. Officially wrapped filming, and it appears Chris Evans is done with Captain America, and that is really crazy. Chris Evans took to Twitter today to announce that he's wrapped filming on Marvel Studios Avengers 4, and the message that he shared with the fans is probably going to make Marvel fans anyway, freak out. This is what he had to say on Twitter, on his official Twitter account. Officially wrapped on Avengers 4. It was an emotional day, to say the least. Playing this role for over 8 years has been an honor. To everyone in front of the camera, behind the camera, and in the audience, I thank you for the memories. He's eternally grateful. Now, I'm going to say this. If that doesn't sound like, a farewell message, I don't know what does. Obviously, there's been talk for years that he wanted to be, he wants to get behind the camera and direct. And these contracts with Marvel, they're long contracts. They're usually 7 or 8 years. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of the comic, Bucky Barnes has, and I think is currently holding the mantle of Captain America. It has also gone to Black Falcon, which is another candidate who is an Avenger. So, either one would be fantastic. Jago, what is your take on Chris Evans leaving the role of Captain America?
Man, let's be honest. Chris Evans, it's hard to look back when we first saw Chris Evans playing
Human
Captain
Torch.
America. Yeah, Human Torch.
Yeah,
and then when he was in the very first Captain America movie, it's hard to look back and go, yeah, I can honestly say this now that I think Chris Evans was the perfect pick for Captain America.
Oh, he absolutely was, no doubt about it.
And he fit the role. Even like in real life, he seems like I have never met him, but he just comes across as a really like stand-up guy, and you know, and that's the embodiment. Stand up, you know, always, you know, fight for truth and justice, and he kind of even just he looks the part, and I think they did a fantastic job casting him as Captain America. Let's be honest, he's done the role justice.
Yes,
and every movie I've seen, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the first one, every Avengers movie, he's played a phenomenal Captain America, and it's really sad to see him go from the role. I can't think of a real actor's name that played Bucky. I just hope he carries on the Captain America mantle as well as Chris Evans did. Because let's be honest,
he probably could. I think he's a good actor too. His name actually escapes me. Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. Yep.
Yeah, he would be. I think that, you know, he's a lower key when you see him, but I think he could be as serious, because, you know, Captain America isn't jokey. Right, like he's all business, and I think Bucky Barnes and the actor Sebastian Stan do portray that role as being that kind of a character. So I think it's never going to be a 1-to-1. Captain America to me is always going to be Chris Evans, but
yes.
You know, these actors are getting old. They are getting, you know, they're getting a little long in the tooth, and like I said, it'd be sad to see him go, because he is he is, to me, when I look at Captain America, I think of him. Yep. So I don't know what I'm gonna have, you know, my thought process is gonna be.
Let's be honest. He played a great Winter Soldier, in my opinion. He did a good job with that.
Yeah,
so,
he did. Yes,
and it's gonna be a sad day for me, even more so when I see Robert Downey Jr. leave Iron Man. I'm gonna be like.
Well, he's the most paid one, so I don't think he's going away anytime soon, even though if he's not going to be wearing the suit. But we'll see. We don't know. I want to go to Hebot on this. Chris Evans possibly leaving the role. Now, you know what? He has in the past done statements like this, and, you know, he's a master at marketing. A lot of people don't know that. And he doesn't really talk out of turn. Like, you know, he is like the all-around good guy. Yep. But every now and again, Chris Evans does makes a statement like this, gets everyone crazy, and you're talking about Marvel. Do you think it's that, or do you think he's actually done with the role?
Well, look, you know, the problem with social media is that it's a great venue that we've never had before, but it's also a venue where it kind of makes people freak out and take things out of proportion, right?
Yeah.
So my take on it is absolutely, I think he's done with the role, but a lot of that has to do if people don't the people that are not going to really know, unless you're a comic book, you know, aficionado, so to speak, or at least know of, you know, comic book stories, has to do with the continuation of the direction of how they're going to bring the stories into the next stages, because Captain America does retire, and then, you know, people like the Falcon and Bucky take his mantle as the new as the new Captain America. I think both those guys are younger than him, so they can continue with Cap for quite a while in the Marvel universe if they need to do, let's say, another 12 movies or another 10 movies, right?
Yeah.
But I really think it's amazing how far the respect and love for Chris Evans has become from the fan base in the whole world, and the Marvel fan base and people that go see movies in general, because these movies have generated even the casual market, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Good point, dude. Really good point.
Because he's a loving, likable guy, you know? He's really what he shows that he is, either whether he's screen, off screen. I think we've just been so privileged, and I know I am, because I'm getting older, and I don't know how much time I have left on this planet, but I think I feel absolutely incredibly privileged to be able to see his character as Captain America that I was able to see it before I died. Like I was able to see Lord of the Rings movies. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's something that we don't appreciate because it's something so trivial for a lot of people because they look at it as it's just a character in a movie. You know what I mean? But it's so much more because these characters actually become part of everyday society and living, and we get accustomed to them. It's going to be very hard to see someone else take his mantle, but at the same time, he has to move on. He has to move on to other things, and we got to respect that. You get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. Even if you love it, you just get tired. So if you have an option that you can move forward, and maybe who knows, he might direct one of the other Marvel movies down the road. We don't know that, which would be great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
You know, that's one of the conflicts that Ben Affleck's having right now because he said to play Batman is very taxing, and he's older, and he has, he's going through a lot of marital problems. Plus,
and he's also in rehab. Also, let's not forget that.
Absolutely. But if you've seen them lately, they showed him he's working out, he's getting back in shape, so that's a good sign. It's a good sign, and I hope he's doing well. And like I said, for Chris Evans, hat tip to him. Salud, amigo. Thank you for giving us so many wonderful years as being Captain America. You will always be him in our minds, in our hearts, and we'll never forget what you gave us. It was a wonderful gift that we should appreciate for the rest of our continuous life. And I don't think that means necessarily that he's going to die. I just think he's passing the mantle forward because, life goes on and he has to do bigger and other things,
Before I move on to Monkey Punch, I just want to shout out Dreadpool in the chat, and he says he thinks the contract is up. This may be leverage, and by doing it, publicly could obviously garner him a bigger wage. That's always a possibility. I kind of heard that too, Dreadpool. Good on you for making that announcement in the chat. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And Monkey Punch, I want to go to you last on this, dude. Obviously, Chris Evans embodies Captain America. He has been since the first Avenger. Obviously, he's been in just about every big film, and he plays a big role. Seeing him walk away is going to be sad. Do you think that this is, like I said, like Dreadpool was saying, a ploy to get more money because his contract is up, or he's actually going to walk away?
I might go with Dreadpool would think on this one, man, because I think he does. Like you said, his contract's up, and maybe once you get that push to get that more money, But it might be the other option too. He could be tired of it. So what happened with Wolverine? When Logan, he played Wolverine for about the same amount of time as Captain America, and I'm pretty sure his body was, getting older. Going through all this stuff that he have to do. I love Wolverine. I miss him in the films. I don't know if they're going to kill off Captain America or if it is true. So,
I don't know. I don't know that there's been no real talk of him dying, but obviously he has passed away in the comics on numerous occasions, as recently as Civil War. So I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. When a lot of people don't understand that, especially a guy like Captain America. The shape that these guys have to be in is just crazy. I mean, the workouts that they do. Because
I know Captain America's your favorite, Boom. I know he's
he's definitely my favorite character of all time, for sure.
Yeah, they do go through a lot, man. The age, they got to go work out. They got to work out and, maintain a certain amount of, the
physique.
It gets a toll on them. Yeah, it gets a toll on the body. Yeah, just like, what was his, I forgot his name, Logan's name, was the character actor, I can't remember his name, that played Wolverine.
Oh, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, he went through a lot. He's been Wolverine, Hugh Jackman for
20 years. It's just
20 years.
He started in 2000?
Yeah. It would have went on to 20 years if he would have continued the role. It's again, you see. Okay, if you look at what he looked like, and I don't want to really go too much off topic with Wolverine because we're talking about Chris Evans, but if you look at what he looked like when he got the role, and then when he left the role, it was two different people. The amount of the ruggedness that you have to work out 6 and 8 hours a day on top of that of filming and have a life sometimes is too much. But you know what? I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to lose the viewers. I know some people are like, oh, please, let's talk about games. So we're going to move on to the next topic. Footage for the new Harry Potter RPG has apparently leaked. And I'm going to say this right now. Holy shit, it looks incredible. Okay? I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I've seen every film double-digit times, and I've started even reading the books. In regards to Harry Potter in gaming, we've been treated to some awesome Lego games, but the leaked video that surfaced looked like something. It was like an adult-themed Witcher Harry Potter type of game. It's been long speculated now that Rocksteady, who works exclusively with WB, had a new game that they were working on. So again, this is complete speculation on my part. Take it with a grain of salt, because we had some information of a new Batman game being unveiled at XO that I talked about on yesterday's Xbox Factor podcast. But they're not a small company, and they have done some hiring. Could this be Rocksteady's new unannounced game? Jago, I have to go to you. The video, which is now taken down, unfortunately, looked incredible, man. Holy cow. If that's going to be the next Harry Potter game, sign me up on the collector's edition and get me a wand, because I want in on this. What's your take on what you were able to see on the new Harry Potter game, possibly by Rockstar Studios?
I didn't actually. You didn't. I don't think you put a link in the DM. I didn't actually get to see a chance to see the footage, but I've heard other people describing it, and they said it was like, holy shit! It's like it was just, it blew their mind. Like everybody I heard was going crazy about it. I'm not a huge super Harry Potter fan. I've seen the movies multiple times. I enjoyed them for what they were. But for everybody out there that's like a big, like huge Harry Potter buffs and just love the character, I think it's going to be something very good for the gaming community to get a game, because I can't remember the last time there was what's the last time we got a Harry Potter game? I don't remember.
That was the Lego one. And I kind of just want to address someone in the chat. If I misspoke and I said Rockstar, it's actually Rocksteady. That the maker of the Batman games that is rumored to be working on a new game. This could be it. So let me just correct myself. It's not GTA Harry Potter. It is Rocksteady, makers of Batman. But I just wanted to correct myself. Continue with your point, Jago.
But like we all say, options, having options are that's a bonus. I mean, for Harry Potter fans to get another, like I said, I can't remember last time a Harry Potter game released. But to get possibly a new Harry Potter game for all the huge Harry Potter fans, that's a win-win, in my opinion. As long as it's done right. And I don't think what I heard, I don't think you're playing as Harry Potter. You make your own character. But
yes, that's correct.
But it's just a bonus. I mean, it's a win-win for gaming fans, and we all love options. So, I mean, kudos for them if they are working on a Harry Potter game, because hell, if it's good enough, because like I said, I've seen the movies multiple times too. If it looks good enough, or what I read about it, if it doesn't seem to be trash, I might actually pick it up and play it myself, because like I said, I enjoyed the movie. So.
Well, you know what? What's amazing is this. Okay, first of all, that's not mocked footage. That's actually from I believe it was a test group that they were showing that footage from. So it's real. Yep. Harry Potter, the character, we saw his tale. You've read the books, and it's amazing, the universe. But if you're telling me, as a video game fan, that I could live in that universe as a fan, make my own character from scratch, male, female, whatever, and I could turn around and play in that universe, man, just sign me up right now, because that's going to be amazing.
I'll be honest. Like I said, I wasn't a huge Harry Potter fan, but when I actually watched the movies, I became more of a Harry Potter fan because of the stories and the storytelling, and you got to see Harry grow up in that world. And the world is, I'll be honest, it's a fantastic world with Hogwarts and, Voldemort. And it was really good storytelling. I mean, but it comes from the books, being written, very well written, because if it wasn't for the books, we wouldn't have Harry Potter, the movie. So
that's correct. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to get to Monkey Punch on this one. What is your take on the possibility of Rocksteady, who we know can make an incredible game, right? They've made 3 Arkham games that were amazing.
Yep.
Harry Potter has a universe of untapped potential. Could this be a big game for not only Harry Potter, but Rocksteady if this winds up being them?
Just no battle royale, please.
Oh
no, please no.
Oh, if Rocksteady is doing a Harry Potter, because I love the way Rocksteady made their games implemented into the universe of heroes like Batman. They put their own little twist on it. If they can do that own little twist on Harry Potter, this game will look phenomenal, dude. It's like an adult themed Harry Potter, like you said, customize your own character. And I watched all the movies, and I did like Harry Potter, but Lord of the Rings was one of my favorites besides Harry Potter, but I did watch them all. But yeah, man, we can't put anything by Rocksteady, man. We've been waiting for them to announce something, If this is their game, man, then yeah, I'll definitely check it out, man, because I'm never a side person enough to check something out before people, shut down on it, because...
Well, it looked adult. It didn't look like it was going to be a kiddie, type of Harry Potter tale.
Yeah.
There's obviously monsters and dragons, and it looked fantastic. I hope that this, like I said, this isn't mocked footage. I don't think it is. But the potential for an adult-themed Harry Potter RPG, maybe on the same lines as The Witcher, would be just crazy.
Wow,
yeah,
that would be freaking amazing, man. Because Rockstar can do it, man. Rocksteady can do it, because we know what they've done before already, and how they changed the way Harley Quinn look and the Penguin and Two-Face.
Yes, they can make changes that will be the correct.
The altered versions were just amazing.
Yeah,
and
if they can keep the quality that they did with all the Batman games, I think it would be phenomenal.
If they did,
let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely, Jago. If they do it the way they had the quality from Batman, nobody will have no problem playing this and wanting to play this. I wish they make an adaptation of Superman. That would just be.
Well, that's long been rumored, but that's a tale for another one. If you're watching the show, first and foremost, thank you so much for hanging around. Unfortunately, we have lost 2 panel members due to family. They had to actually do stuff with their family, so we're still going to continue the show. It's the 3 of us, and it's the 70 people in the chat, which I love and appreciate for you being here. I have a couple more topics before we end the show, and the next topic is going to be this: Devil May Cry 5, which looks incredible, and we're getting in 2019 in March. Apparently, is going to have upgradable microtransactions. Now, before everyone starts scoffing at what you're watching, the producer of Capcom says, hold on, let me explain. So I want to read to you exactly what he had to say. For context, in Devil May Cry 5, you will be able to collect red orbs and trade them in for upgrades. As GameSpot noticed during the recent demo of the forthcoming game, there's also an option to pay for them with real-world money. So they asked Hideaki Itsuno, director of Devil May Cry 5, for the clarification, and this is what he had to say. With giving people the ability to purchase red orbs, it's something we want to give people as an option. If they want to save time and just get to all the stuff at once, those people can do that. But on the other hand, I don't feel you have to get all the moves, he said. So basically, if you want to jumpstart your character's stats, you can do that. But if you don't, it's perfectly fine just to play the game. Jago, I want to go to you on this. Is this one of those microtransactions that's going to make people fly off the handle, or is it just because it's a single player game, it's okay?
Oh man, that's tough. Well, first and foremost, the red orbs have been in Devil May Cry since day one, since the very first one.
Yeah.
And I would never buy the red orbs. Period. I don't care about spending real money on collecting red orbs in a Devil May Cry game because most time they're very plentiful. You find plenty of them to upgrade your character as much as you want. Every Devil May Cry game I've played, and I've played them all, there was no need. I mean, it wasn't back then, except for 4, I think, in its Ultimate Edition, whatever it was, or can't remember. But there's really no need for that. If somebody wants to spend real world money on red orbs, that's all fine and dandy if you want to do that. But as long as it's not pay to win, like totally pay to win, kind of like Star Wars Battlefront 2 was, I'm fine with it. It being a single player game, it's not quite as bad, I don't think, because there's no multiplayer where it's pay to win and you got all the best weapons and armor and stuff. Not quite that bad of a situation as a single player game. But my honest opinion, it's fine if you want to buy the orbs, but why would you ever in a Devil May Cry game? Because they give you so many red orbs throughout the games to upgrade Dante or Nero or whoever you're playing as to like max his character out. I'm not going to use it, and if you spend real world money on it, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't think it's that big a deal as long as since it's not a multiplayer game, but I won't use it. I'm planning on getting Devil May Cry 5 day one.
Yes, I'm a day one buyer as well. Absolutely.
And like I said, there's plenty of opportunity in the game to get red orbs, so there's no point really spending your real world money on it unless you just. Let's be honest. There's people out there who just can't help themselves with buying microtransactions for some good God reason. I do not know. Like they have to spend real world money on a game, but in my opinion, there's no need to spend real world money if you play the game. Why? Honestly, playing it's like you're cutting out half the fun of the game. Half the fun of the game is collecting the orbs and building up Dante or whoever your main character is in the game. And it's like cheating. Why would you do that? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. But as long as I ain't forced on me. I'm
right.
fine with
They're not strong arming you to do it. If you want to buy the microtransactions and you want to buy the red orbs, by all means, please go ahead. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't done stuff like that. Like the last Assassin's Creed, I bought a couple of those packs, that were like $5 to get all of the stuff that you needed to make a weapon or to upgrade.
I can't say I've never done it either, Boom, but I've never bought anything in a multiplayer game that was like cheating, basically like cheating, getting all the best stuff. Like I bought skins and stuff in Titanfall, but it's just a skin. But I would never buy it anyway, because it's in my opinion, it's kind of like cheating, and you're at the end of the day, you're doing yourself a disservice by not earning it. You know what I'm saying? But we live in a day and age where people don't want to earn anything; they want to have it given to them, which is really sad. And it's really sad because it's in a video game. You still can't earn your way. That's really, 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 really sad, in my opinion.
Well, listen, you know what? Again, it's entirely up to you as the player. You buy the game. If you don't have the 100 hours to put into leveling up your character and you want to spend a couple of bucks, obviously that is your prerogative. Like I said, I'm not going to lie and say I have not done it. I have in the past. And I you know what? It's just their way of continuing to fund the game. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards in regards to DLC. But you know what? Again, it's your choice as the gamer.
Yep.
But I want to go to the next panel member on this. Monkey, what is your take on the fact that, I mean, listen, Devil May Cry 5 looks amazing. The videos that they've shown already, the real world gameplay looks just fantastic. I don't know if this is going to kind of tarnish that shine because it is the original Dante coming back. But do you think adding the microtransactions is going to hurt this game?
In my opinion, I don't think it is, man, because I played Devil May Cry back since PS1. I played every single Devil May Cry game. And back in the days, those red orbs were, you get them. But there's, like you said, Boom, there's people that don't want to sit there and grind it. You the more you grind, then maybe you don't have enough time to do it. I understand they put this in there as like an exceptional option. Like you said, nobody will have to buy it. You don't have to. You don't have the time to put all the time into this game, and you want to get orbs. Because it takes time to get all those orbs, to get health, to get crystal reboots, all these other stuff they had in the game.
Level up your swords, level up your guns.
It takes time. It takes a lot of orbs, a lot of enemies to kill. And hey, if you want to buy them, go ahead. I've never bought something like that before, but if it's something you want to do, then hey, I don't think it's going to tarnish the game at all. Because there's a lot of Devil May Cry games.
Well, Sochetti brings up a good point, Monkey. He says, do they still have so many orbs and quests in the game? Now, if they make it that way, where you're getting less red orbs than you were,
right? That would be a problem.
Yeah, that was the problem.
If they make it where you almost need to buy the red orbs, then I'll have a problem with it. Because, like I said, we've all played Devil May Cry, and you get plenty of red orbs throughout the game to level up your character. Now, if they make it where you're only getting like 1,000 red orbs throughout the whole game, now that's when I would be pissed.
Yeah, because I used to play it, and I never used to get a lot of orbs.
You didn't need a buy option for red orbs.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe because it could kill the game. Because Capcom, Vancouver of Dead Rising got canned. And we ain't gonna see no more Dead Rising games. And now Capcom decides, hey, let's put red orb transactions in the game. They really didn't need to put that in there. I don't know what they're thinking.
I would hope Capcom wouldn't be that foolish to.
No, you know what? They have been on a real high since the release of Resident Evil 7, and they've been doing everything right.
Yes.
We don't want to do like Konami did with Metal Gear, that Metal Gear game they made, where you had to pay for your new character.
Yeah, you have to actually pay for a second save. It was ridiculous. I don't think they're going to make that kind of mistake. I just think that
not with one of their tried and true franchises.
Right. No, they won't do that. This is an option to buy red orbs. This isn't an option to get a sword that you can only buy for $10. It's just red orbs from what I understand.
It's no disadvantage. If you want more orbs, BY, you might go buy them.
Giving people the option, I don't think is wrong. I think that what So Shady says does make really good point and a lot of sense. That if this turns out to be, the game normally gives you 500 on a boss of red orbs, and now you're getting 300, and you have to grind, and the grind ruins the game. Yeah, and then you're so upset that you have to grind that you're going to just buy the orbs. That's a horse of another color. Again, that could be an entirely podcast on its own. But you know what? I kind of want to move on to the last topic of today's show. And because it's Fallout 76, this might take some time. Bethesda confirms the return of a Fallout favorite in Fallout 76. I'm glad it's not removed, considering it is a Fallout classic. And this story was pulled from comicbook.com. According to them, Fallout 76 is bringing a lot of new to the wasteland with its online play and social-centric features. Even though the spin-off title is offering brand new experiences, 76 is very much a part of the beloved franchise and will feature many throwbacks to previous games in the series. Case in point, the triumphant return of the Fat Man from Fallout 3. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, the Fat Man is an M42 tactical nuclear catapult that made its debut in Fallout 3 and since has been featured in Fallout New Vegas as well as Fallout 4 and the free-to-play game Fallout Shelter. It is basically the most powerful weapon in the game. The fact that they're bringing it back, I think, is important because, even though Fallout 76 is a new game, you still want some of those classic weapons. Jago, now, I don't know how much of Fallout you played, but this is a big deal because if you remove this, then what's going to take its place in regards to like megaton, literally, weapons? Are you glad to see that they're not only bringing new weapons, but keeping some of the old classics?
Well, for the fans of the Fallout series, personally, I'm not a fan of the Fallout series. I think I played 4, and I just really couldn't get into it. I don't know what it was. Couldn't put my finger on it. I just and I saw Fallout. I saw all the Fallout games released, whatever, and it just wasn't a game that really caught my eye. But I did try 4, and I just couldn't get into it. So I gave it a good 6-8 hours into Fallout 4, and I just couldn't get into it. So I don't know. I don't know the weapon you're talking about because I never played 3. But for fans of the Fallout series that love that particular weapon or just love the Fallout series in general, I think it's a good thing for throwbacks or homages to or Easter eggs, I'll say, to like the old or the previous Fallout title. So anybody that's a Fallout fan, kudos on them for putting that in the game for people that were really big fans of that weapon or said franchise. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I have to be corrected. See, now I'm reading this story directly from comicbook.com. They got it wrong, so I got it wrong. And I have to give a shout out to Pixelbit G, who has course corrected BoomStick. It is actually called the Fat Boy, the Fat Man. So you know what? I did not catch that error when I was pulling this story. Shame on me. Shame on you, comicbook.com. But thank you for the correction, dude. I really appreciate that. But Monkey, I want to go to you on this. Obviously Fallout 76 is going to be a big deal. For me personally, I'm buying the $200 collector's edition that comes with the helmet. I am doing an unboxing.
Are you going to wear that helmet, Boom?
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it during the video for sure. I won't come up with it because obviously I'll sound like Cobra Commander, and that's not good. But I am gonna do an unboxing. I am a huge Fallout fan. I have the Pip-Boy Collector's Edition in storage, brand new. Yeah. I also have the Nuke from the Fat Boy, which was a PC only collector's edition. It came with every Fallout game, also in storage, brand new. And I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the armor helmet, which looks absolutely amazing. But for you, Monkey, is it important for Bethesda to not only bring us new stuff, but to kind of keep the classics so the diehard fans like me don't feel like they're forgetting about us?
It's good for them to have, to bring back stuff. It's like Jago said, I played Fallout, but I never played like the newest one. Like I just never got into them, or maybe I just didn't have enough time to put all the time into those games.
They're big games, dude.
Their games take time.
You'll lose 80 hours of your life. I put 300 hours into Fallout 3.
If I'm playing Assassin's Creed, that's merely not even what the surface of Fallout can do, but. But I try my best. I play. I'm an old school like you. I'm an old school gamer. I was born in the '80s, man. So I've been gaming since I was, a little kid, man. And I played a lot of games. A lot of varied games. People love Fallout. I'm happy they like that kind of game. I'm getting older. I really don't have time to put like 100+ hours into games anymore.
Me neither.
I'll play a couple 30-40 hour game, but
100 hours is pushing the limits.
It's pushing, a lot. It's pushing. I play Destiny, I I got a lot of backlog games that I just, don't have time to. But I'm open to, it's good to have something new, but it's good to have something new too, right? So
it's perfect. Perfect example, Monkey. Look at all the games that released this year: God of War, Spider-Man.
I still haven't beat God of War. I haven't beat Spider-Man yet.
Tomb Raider, but
I got Tomb Raider. I have and then Odyssey and
Assassin's Creed. You got Call of Duty. You got Battlefield. I can't just like, put 100 hours in a game.
It's mind blowing how do these people have all the time to play these games? I don't understand. Yeah. I don't even have the time. I work 5 days a week. I don't, I get a couple hours a day and a couple days a week to play. And it's like, what game do I want to play today? Like, should I play the new Tomb Raider, or should I play this? It's like everybody was just stuck with playing different games all the time.
But dude, what you're explaining is pretty much the problem for everyone. Yeah. And that's why everyone that's not only on this panel, but in the chat has a 50+ game backlog, which goes back to last generation. But I'm going to say this. First of all, a big shout out to the chat. Once again, you guys proved
awesome
to me that you are nothing short of amazing. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, the super chats that have been given for this particular show are just mind-blowing generous. I really, really want to thank everyone for that. It is going to a good cause. And like I said, at 50% of every dollar that I collect in the next month, all the way up into the last show of this month, which is going to be on the 26th of October, which is Friday. It's the last Breakfast of Boom of October. Will 50% of whatever I collect in those 4 weeks will be donated to a breast cancer awareness charity.
That's
so
awesome.
Everyone that has donated and it will eventually consider donating, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It does mean a lot to me.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting Boom, man. Boom's been a great guy, man. I've listened to him since Coffee, Casuals, and Consoles, man. And
me too.
He's always been, you know, a spot on gamer, dude, and that's why I love supporting this guy. He just
I really appreciate that, Monkey. Real quick, I got to give a shout out to Wow, I Don't Care, $15 super chat. He says Leon or Claire storyline first for Resident Evil remake. And I'm going to say this. I'm going with the cop. I'm going to go with Leon first.
Leon.
And nothing against females, obviously, because I love my Tomb Raider and plenty of games that star Cassandra. Perfect example for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Amazing.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But I've always started with Leon, and I'm going to do that with the new one. I want to thank my entire panel. Unfortunately, we had 2 members have to kind of bounce out early. Hebot and, of course, Fastback. They are fantastic community members. Please, if you don't follow them, get over to the show notes or get over to Twitter and follow both of them. They are real upstanding guys. And I also want to just now continue to the people that are still left doing this show. Jago Coogan, we've become really more than just friends. Almost, it would almost be a sin not to say that we're brothers.
Oh, I consider you a brother, Boom.
And I've gotten to meet a lot of people that stand out in this community. You are definitely one of those people. Tell everyone where they could find you on your 18 shows that you're on weekly.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Boom. You're awesome, man. I was just Boom, you're an amazing guy. And I consider like you and everybody else that I've met through Twitter that I interact with on like almost a daily basis, like family, in my opinion, man, because there's a lot of negative shitheads out there, let's be honest, but I don't try to associate with them. But the people I do talk to or whatever, they're good. They seem like good people, and I think they are. Congrats on your success, brother. You deserve it. You're a genuine guy, genuine nice guy. We all can tell. That's why you're going places. But the chat, like I said, I want to say chat. Y'all were awesome. I know I didn't chime in much, but it's kind of hard to say hey to everybody and just enjoy it.
I'm trying to do it while watching the chat, while reading my cue cards and running the show. So it is a little difficult. Real quick, Agent Rayhan, personal friend of mine, grew up with him in Co-op City in the Bronx. We still get down with, of course, a Division. Can't wait to play the Division 2. A $2 super chat. Listen, every penny helps when you're trying to donate to charity. So thank you for that. Jago, you are a class act, my friend. And you know what? You are like, you are no nonsense. You're a fair dude. But if someone crosses the line, you call people out and put them on blast. And I really, really like that about you.
I try to be a nice guy, man, because one of my heroes growing up and still to this day is Bruce Lee. And you know, he was a really good guy. Had a lot of bad things happen to him. So I try to be, my favorite characters, Jago, and I try to project that. I try not to be an asshole to anybody on social media, but if you come at me the wrong way, I will blast you. But anyway, I'm not as on many podcasts as I was, but you can find me on the Game Dosage on Monday nights.
Great show.
At 9 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on the DazCast, which was once a week, but now it's like once a month because work, and that's cool with me, Daz. And you can find me on the WDFC, which stands for Who the Fuck Cares, with Fastback.
Indeed. I love it.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jago Cookin, and you can find me also at YouTube, which I got a little YouTube channel that I mess with once in a while. But yeah,
hey, listen, that's it, brother. Everything counts, dude. No matter what, how big or small. Also, another big a big shout out to who I don't care for another $15
awesome.
Donation, dude. I don't even know what to say, dude. Thank you so much for that. It is the generosity of fans like you that help this channel grow. Yeah. And again, $15 of the 30 that you donated today is going to a charity. My wife and I, like I said, we are very carefully making sure that the charity that we're gonna donate to is legit, because there are a lot of scams out there, and I want this money going to the right cause. So, dude, really from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You're just awesome. Okay, Monkey, I want to finish off with you. Listen, you're on a couple of shows, but I am going to say this about you. You support everybody in this community through Twitter and through showing up in the chat. You're constantly throwing people the views that they want to do. So thank you for all of that you do in this community, and thank you for being on today's show. Tell everyone where they could find you, bro.
You can find me on Twitter at MichaelLugo6, but usually they call me Monkey Baby because Daz gave me that name. And it's been stuck with me. And you can find me on Xbox at Monkey Punch 77. Same thing on PSN. Same name. I appreciate you, Boom, having me here, man. I think it's my second time being on.
Yes, it's actually a second show. That's correct.
Second show, and I just, like I said before, man, I love your show, and I love the way you talk about games. You're a passionate guy about gaming, and just like myself, and man, just one day maybe me and Boom will actually play a game.
Yeah, you know what, dude? The thing is, it's funny because I get a lot of requests, and it's not that I'm not sociable like that. It's just that, I'm home during the day because I'm retired, but my wife gets home in the afternoon. She's in after 4:30. Yeah. So I don't get to see her all day, and I think it would be, I try to be the proper husband where
that's understandable. That's understandable.
At the same time, I game because even like a guy like Mooch, who doesn't want to game with freaking Mooch? He's awesome.
I like him. I finally
he's always like, hey, you're always watching Netflix, and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm trying to juggle, my professional life, my family life, and the life that I do. Like cleaning the house and doing the shopping while my poor wife works still. It's tough. But again, I appreciate everyone understanding. Once again, we've run over 2 hours. The show has been complete fire. I really appreciate almost the 90 people that were watching today's show. Yep. Holy cow, that's amazing. Please hit the like button, share this on social media, and I will see you next Friday on the next episode of Breakfast with Boom. Thanks again, everyone. Have an awesome weekend.